Alright, so we're doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be reacting to the 2019 Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I don't know, the results. The guys who got inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame for the year of 2019. Now, yes, there was a few little bit of tidbits of news that did happen in baseball today, so I'll just give you a quick little recap on what happened so you can see my reaction to those. Nick Markakis signed a one-year deal worth $6 million guaranteed with the Atlanta Braves. I think it's a good signing for the Braves. I understand he had a rough second half of last season, but for $6 million, that's really not any risk whatsoever, and if you get what he got from the first half, you're gonna be very excited. Second bit of news was Asdrubal Cabrera signed with the Texas Rangers to be their third baseman. Overall, this move doesn't have a lot of impact for baseball, but I'm an Asdrubal Cabrera fan. He's been great for the Mets the last few years that he was there. I'm glad he's in Texas. I can root for him now, and I don't have to worry about him coming back and hurting the New York Mets. So good for Asdrubal. Glad to see him out in Texas. Hope he does well. So in this video, I'm gonna give you my reactions to the 4 players that did get inducted, whether or not I felt like they're worthy. I'm gonna talk about the players that I felt like got left out and that I think deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I'll even give you my ballot that I would have done if I was a baseball writer of America, which of course I'm not. I'm a kid who makes YouTube videos for the internet, but I'll show you my ballot at the end of the video. So if this is something you guys like to see, you want to see me do more of this kind of content, make sure to leave a like on this video. That's the best way to show your support for the channel. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. We're talking about baseball on here almost every single day, so if you like talking about baseball, you like listening to baseball news, this is your place to be. Get in that comment section down below. Let me know what you think about the Baseball Hall of Fame results for 2019. Do you feel that anybody was left out? Do you think that some guys shouldn't have got in? I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. And remember to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description down below. Great place to talk baseball with me. So like I said, there was 4 players inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame for the year of 2019. We got Mariano Rivera, Edgar Martinez, Mike Mussina, and Roy Halladay. Immediate reaction, every single one of those players deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. They are all Hall of Fame worthy. For those of you who've been around the channel for right around a year, maybe even longer, you would know that I did a reaction to the Hall of Fame results from last year. Now last year, I think I said that Edgar Martinez probably wouldn't have gotten in my opinion, but upon further review, Edgar Martinez is a Hall of Famer, and I'm glad that he got in. As a baseball player, let's be honest, he was a really good hitter. Do I think he's one of the best hitters of all time? Absolutely not. Do I think he's in the same conversation of guys like Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron? No, of course not. But you know what? Based on the stats that this guy had in his career, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and not to mention, he seems to be like one of the nicest guys in all of baseball. I mean, the video, him being very humble last year, not getting in and saying, we're gonna try again next season, whew, I was like, you know what, just, the dude's a nice guy, get him in there. He hit for a high average, he got on base at a very high average, he may have not had your home run numbers that a prototypical DH has, like a David Ortiz, but you know what all this guy did? It was hit. He absolutely mashed at the plate. So in the past year, my opinions has changed, and I'm glad for Edgar Martinez. The dude deserved it, he worked hard, and he finally gets to celebrate with his family going into the Hall of Fame. We also got Mike Mussina, who got in by the skin of his teeth. I think he was like 76%. Yeah, 76.7% for Mike Mussina to get into the Hall of Fame. I think Mike Mussina deserved it. Now, do I think, again, he's kind of like in that Edgar Martinez category for me. Do I think he was one of the most dominant pitchers that I saw while he was playing? You know, those early 2000s, late 90s? No, he wasn't Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson. But Mike Mussina was a damn good pitcher. That dude went out there, and every time he stepped on the mound, whether it was for the Orioles or the Yankees, you knew that the team had a very good chance to get the W. He was going to give you a quality start every single time he stepped out there. He was a gamer, he was a winner, he was a really good pitcher. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and he finally gets in. Not to mention, the dude was great in the playoffs as well. I mean, he's just a very solid pitcher. It's just, he came up in the same time of when you had guys like Randy Johnson, Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez. You had some of the best pitchers of all time as well, pitching at the same time as him. So when you compare him to those guys, it's not fair. But you compare him to other Hall of Famers, he is very comparable, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, which he now is. The next player that got in was Roy Halladay, which is a little bit with a heavy heart. As we know, in November of 2017, Roy Halladay unfortunately passed away in a plane accident. And of course, it was his first ballot, and he got in very easily, 85.4%, because let's be honest, Roy Halladay is a Hall of Famer. It would have been great for him to be alive to accept it and give the speech at the Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony. But as a player, Roy Halladay, oh, one of the best pitchers I ever saw play. This dude was disgusting. He's going to be one of the last pitchers that we probably ever see in the game of baseball that would consistently go out and throw 8 or 9 innings in every single start. Roy Halladay would have seasons where he has 9, 8, 7, 9, 9. He did it a bunch of times where he'd have 9 or 8 complete games in a season. Those are just numbers you're not going to see in Major League Baseball anymore because 1, pitchers' arms, pitch counts, there's a whole science behind that. And 2, the game has evolved to where it's much more bullpen oriented because Why have a guy see a pitcher for the third or fourth time through a lineup when he can see a new fresh arm who's got just as good stuff? And that's just a testament to how good of a pitcher Roy Halladay was, because it's not like he was pitching in the 80s, the 70s, even the early late 90s. This dude was having some of his best years in the late 2000s, early 2010s. Yes, the game has evolved since then, it's still changing to this day, but Roy Halladay was still pitching deep into games, facing batters for the third, fourth time, and he was still getting the job done. He's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. He threw 2 no-hitters as a pitcher, 1 in the playoffs, which was just crazy. He's of course won a World Series with the Phillies. Overall, Roy Halladay was one of the best pitchers that I ever got to see pitch in Major League Baseball. So it's with a heavy heart, but congratulations to Roy Halladay and his family on getting inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And then the final player to get inducted with big news here is going to be Mariano Rivera. Now, it's no shock that the dude got inducted into the Hall of Fame. He's the greatest reliever of all time. But here's what the big news is. Mariano Rivera became the first player ever to be unanimously inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. That's right. Every single writer voted for Mariano Rivera 100%. He received all 425 votes, which no player in Major League Baseball history has ever done before. That's right, we're talking about Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Cal Ripken Jr., the greatest players of all time. Nobody has done it. Do I think Mariano should have been the first to be 100%? No. But do I think he deserves 100%? Without a doubt. He's so dominant. It's crazy. Mariano Rivera really took over the closer role for the New York Yankees in the 1997 season, and he never let go of that closer role ever with the Yankees since 1997. And that role never slipped out of his fingers from that year on. He leads all of Major League Baseball in saves with 652. He's finished the most games in MLB history at 952. He has a career whip of 1.00 flat, which is just... that's disgusting. A career ERA of 2.21. He's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball history, and he's a closer. I mean, everyone around the game of baseball respected. One of the reasons why they said that he got 100% was just like, he was 1, a great pitcher and a no doubt Hall of Famer, and 2, he was just like the man. He was the nicest guy. He had no issues with anyone. So I'm sure Yankee fans are gonna be pumped. They can add that to their resume of things that they have that a lot of other people don't. They got the first ever 100% unanimous decision Hall of Famer, but Mariano deserved it. He deserved to be 100%, just like Ken Griffey deserved to be 100% a few years ago, just like Babe Ruth. All these players deserve to be 100%. It's crazy that there was writers that didn't vote for some of these guys. In my opinion, they should be removed from those ballots. In my opinion, they should have their voting rights revoked. But all 4 of those guys, very well deserving to make it into the Baseball Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame typically doesn't make mistakes with the guys that they pick, and they got it right this year with those 4. Now, do I think that some guys still deserve to be in the Hall of Fame that were not inducted this year? So I'm gonna give you some of those names of players that I think deserve to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, and hopefully we see in the future. After Mike Mussina, the player with the next highest percentage of votes was Curt Schilling, and yes, he has made some disgustingly racist comments, and he said some really stupid things in the past, but if you're talking about from a sheer baseball standpoint, Curt Schilling deserves to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He has the best strikeout to walk ratio in MLB history at 4.38. He is part of the 3,000 strikeout club, which should basically be screaming automatic Hall of Famer. Pitched over 3,000 innings, one of the best postseason pitchers in all of baseball history. Curt Schilling deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. It's just... he's an idiot, and he said some really stupid things, and people hold grudges. People don't want to vote for guys that have this like negative connotation around them, which I understand, but from a sheer baseball standpoint, Curt Schilling's a Hall of Famer. The next 2 up on the list were Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds. Clemens getting 2 more votes than Barry Bonds, which I honestly don't understand. Of course, these are like the poster boys for the PED era. Barry Bonds, the hitter side, Roger Clemens, the pitcher side. Obviously, both of these guys deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. You've got arguably the greatest pitcher of all time, and you've got, without a doubt, the best player of all time in Barry Bonds. That's right, he is the best player of all time. Before you PED haters come in here and say, he cheated, he can't be the best of all time. I don't think you understand what steroids do. Steroids keep you on the field. They don't make you a better baseball player. I can't stress that enough. He did not become a good baseball player because of steroids. Regardless of where you stand, you have to admit that these were 2 of the most dominant players in Major League Baseball history, and they deserve to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. The Baseball Hall of Fame is supposed to be about basically immortalizing the greatest players in the game. It's essentially a hall to learn about the history of baseball. How are you not going to include Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens in the history of baseball when they dominated the sport for nearly 2 decades? You've got Barry Bonds, who's a 7-time MVP, 8-time Gold Glover, 14-time All-Star, 12-time Silver Slugger, 2-time batting title champion. He's the only member in baseball history to be a part of the 500 home run, 500 stolen base club. 762 home runs, career average just under 300, career on base percentage of almost 450, career slugging of 600, and an OPS over 1,000 for his career. I'm sorry, if you think that steroids are the reason why his numbers are that good, you're an idiot. And then for me to vouch for Roger Clemens takes a lot, because this is my most hated player in all of baseball history. He's above Chase Utley. But Roger Clemens, he won an MVP as a pitcher. He's a 7-time Cy Young Award winner, 2-time Triple Crown as a pitcher, 11-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, 7-time ERA title, won 354 games in his career, 3.12 ERA for his career, pitched in nearly 5,000 innings, struck out 4,600 batters, a 1.17 whip as a starting pitcher. I mean, I can just continue to read numbers and stats. Both of these guys are Hall of Famers. It's about time they get in. Larry Walker went up like 20% from the past year. I think he will eventually get in. It's going to be his 10th time on the ballot next year, so it's going to come down to the wire, but I think he probably sneaks in. He's really close. I think he probably is a Hall of Famer. I know the whole Coors effect, I'm a believer in it as well. But the dude was a 5-tool player. He has ridiculous numbers even on the road. He's a Hall of Famer. Some other guys on the list that I think deserve to be in the Hall of Fame that are not yet. Fred McGriff, which is crazy because this was his 10th time on the ballot and he only got 39% of the votes. How he's not a Hall of Famer is crazy. Veterans Committee, you better put him through. Omar Vizquel is on the bubble for me, and honestly, I'm leaning towards no with him. Great fielder, but he's one of those guys who's an accumulator. A lot of his stats are because he played forever. I understand he won all these gold gloves, and he's close to 3,000 hits, but in 24 seasons, getting 2,800 hits, that's just not enough for me. We've also got Jeff Kent on the list, who I think is a Hall of Famer, and it blows my mind that no one puts him in there. Yes, defensively at second base, he wasn't very good, but he is the best hitting second baseman of all time. If we're gonna put in a DH like Edgar Martinez, who had no value defensively whatsoever, how are we not gonna put in Jeff Kent, who actually played defense? Was it good? No, but he still made an impact. And his numbers offensively are disgusting, especially for second base. Blows my mind he doesn't get more support. Billy Wagner should also be a Hall of Famer, especially after Lee Smith got in from the Veterans Committee. He's one of the best closers of all time. It's just, again, Mariano Rivera over him, Trevor Hoffman over him. And if you look at his percentage numbers, he's actually better than Trevor Hoffman. Scott Rowland's not a Hall of Famer in my opinion. Gary Sheffield should be, but he's got the PEDs things around him, and if Barry Bonds can't get in, well, Sheffield can't get in. Andy Pettit's a PED guy again, he's not gonna get in. Sammy Sosa, same thing. If you don't have the greatest hitter and greatest pitcher of all time, both who probably use PEDs, they can't get in. Guys who have been accused or have been proven to use PEDs that are worse than them, well, they can't get in either. And then a guy on here that I think deserves way more is Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones is a 10-time Gold Glover, one of the best defensive center fielders in all of baseball history when he was actually playing center field. Of course, end of his career, he gained a little bit of weight. He wasn't much of a center fielder. But during his prime, during those 10 seasons, he might have been one of the best defensive center fielders of all time. Oh yeah, and he also hit 400 plus home runs. I just don't get it. I don't get why he doesn't get enough love. I understand he doesn't have a great batting average. I understand he didn't walk as much as some people would have liked. But the dude had a rare combo of power and speed and great glove in the outfield and a cannon of an arm. I don't understand how he doesn't get in. And then here is my ballot in case you guys did care who I would have voted for. My picks would have been Mariano Rivera, Roy Halladay, Edgar Martinez, Mike Mussina, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Fred McGriff, Jeff Kent, Curt Schilling, and Andrew Jones. So that's pretty much it for this video. I'd love to know what you guys think about the Hall of Fame induction results in the comment section down below. Do you agree with the results? Do you disagree? Who do you think should be in? Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like on this video if you did enjoy and you want to support the channel. Remember, subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content and you want to see more of this beautiful face. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching. You know the drill at this point. YouTube recommends you watch this video right here. And this is my most recent upload talking about the Sonny Gray trade. So in case you didn't see any of those, click through them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.